Hello and good morning. I'm Katie McManus, business strategist and money mindset coach, coming to you live on the Facebooks, on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram over here on my phone. This morning, I'm going to be going over how you can just stop being a weenie about going for what you really want. And I just want to share that this comes from a place of knowing how quickly life can be taken away. My family, unfortunately, hello, welcome. Unfortunately, we lost a dear family member this weekend. It was very sudden. I think I wasn't alone in thinking this person had a good 20 more years in them. And like I said, no one expected it, least of all her. And I hate, like, I don't mean to take a family member's death and turn it into content, but it is such a great, it's such a poignant reminder that there's no time to waste. There's no guarantee that you're going to have tomorrow. And whatever it is that you want to do, whoever it is that you want to love, whoever you want to be, unashamedly, like all you have is today. And even today isn't really guaranteed. So just want to remind you of that. I think it's easy to forget, to take for granted that, we're going to live forever, because we're not. It feels that way sometimes, but because, the years and the days drag on and we feel like we have all the time in the world. And unfortunately, that's just not true. And Aunt Ange, thanks for everything. Really. Thank you for being here for the time you were. All right. I want to talk today about trusting your intuition. We all have this voice in our head telling us all the things that we should be afraid of. like I just did, telling you that, death could happen at any time. Hi, the gazelle, welcome. But this voice in your head is going to point out things. Hi, Andrea. Thank you so much. This voice in your head is always going to point out things that are absolutely insane, things that you should be afraid of that really aren't anything to be afraid of. You see, great reminder. Time is a commodity that gets used every single second. Yep. 100%. Thank you, David. It's going to constantly tell you, don't do this because people might reject you, or people might judge you, or, it's too risky. If you were to leave your job and go start a company, what if you're never hired again? What if you become unhireable because you left that job? That voice is full of crap. That voice is your inner weenie. It wants to run your life so that you survive, not so you thrive. Okay. It doesn't care about you thriving. It doesn't care about you living life on purpose. It doesn't care about you having the impact you want to have. It doesn't care about you being happy at work every damn day. All it cares about is that you make enough money, and you should be grateful that you have some people in your life and they should be good enough. Why do you want better? And it basically wants you to settle for whatever the status quo is, even if the status quo is completely underwhelming to you, even if the status quo doesn't scratch any of the itches that you have for this life. What it wants to do is it wants to drown out that voice, that inner voice. And I always imagine this voice comes from the heart. It comes from that heart space, and that's your inner intuition. That intuition that tells you every single day what it wants for you. It sees someone doing something that you want to do, and it's like, oh, I would love to do that. That's exactly what I imagine my life could be like. It sees relationships that you aspire to have, and it longs for it. It pipes up when you're not happy, when something happens that is a great embodiment of what you're settling for. And it's you don't deserve this. You deserve more. That voice is really quiet. It's quiet, and it's easy to ignore. it also like doesn't come from like a logical place. Like the fear voice comes from our brains, right? The intuition voice comes from our hearts and our guts. And if you don't know this, they've done a lot of research over the last couple decades that we have neurons throughout our heart tissue and our gut, throughout our digestive tract, right? So, yes, we do a lot of thinking in our brains. And that's kind of where, especially in Western culture, we're taught to process the world and process who we are and like really think things through. But you're ignoring like the rest of your thinking self. You're ignoring that knowing that you have about who you are and what you're here to do and the gifts that you have. That all lives in here. That knowing um, doesn't come from a logical place. It doesn't come from where we've been taught to think and where what we've been taught to trust. And yet it knows so much more. It knows so much more of what you're capable of. Um, the key here to starting to trust your intuition is you have to do it in little ways. Okay. You have to just trust like there's an intuition that you have that something needs to happen right now and you just need to go with it. This happened to me like in a crazy way a few months ago. I was like sitting at my desk. It was a Saturday afternoon, and I was just kind of feeling burnt out. And I really wanted to get this project done, and so I could enjoy the rest of my weekend. And I just wasn't making any headway on it. And so I like tuned into my intuition, and my intuition told me to go dig out my old Pokemon card collection that I hadn't thought about in decades. Like literally, my sister and I used to collect Pokemon cards when we were kids because we thought they were cute. We thought the pictures were cute. And so, and I kind of had thought about it a few years ago, like, oh, like, people are selling them. Like, I should just drop by a card shop and see if they're worth anything. And anyway, so I had this intuition, like, go do that right now. And I was like, okay. So I was practicing trusting my intuition. I went and I pulled out the Pokemon cards and I went through them. Old Pokemon card collection is money. Well, for other people, not for me, unfortunately. But I called a couple card shops to see if any were open. And there was one in New Bedford because I'm on Cape Cod. New Bedford's like an hour and 15 minutes away. And they're like, yeah, we're open. We're open until 4. If you want to come by, we'd love to take a look at them. So I hopped in my car for a little adventure and I drove all the way to New Bedford. I found parking and went into the place. And unfortunately, my sister and I like didn't understand that like the holographic ones were the important ones. We traded all those for like cute ones. So I only like got $20 for them, which is fine. Like that wasn't the point of the thing. It was more about like trusting my intuition, going and doing a thing, And what was funny is like New Bedford. So I used to live in New Bedford when I went to college. I went to UMass Dartmouth. And a block away, there was like this music festival happening. There was outdoor music. The street was blocked off. There were food trucks and all this stuff. And I went to this Mexican place that I went to when I was in college and I grabbed some like an early dinner. And I went over. I figured, okay, well, I'll just go and sit by the music. And I'm over by the music and it's by the Zeiterion Theater. And like, that doesn't mean anything to you, but my roommate in college used to work at the Zeiterion. And I had heard a rumor, and we had fallen out of touch. We hadn't spoken in about 12 years. And I'd heard a rumor at some point that she still worked there. Like she had climbed the ranks. And so I started asking around for Molly McCarthy. And lo and behold, it was her event. Like she's in charge of fundraising. And I was able to say hi and, we ended up going out to dinner and kind of catching up. But all that came from me trusting my intuition, that intuition who randomly decided that selling Pokemon cards that day, instead of getting any work done, was going to be the thing I needed to do. So trusting your intuition doesn't always feel sensical. Like it can feel really outside the box. It can feel hard to justify, right? But the beautiful thing about trusting your intuition in little ways is that you get to show yourself that your intuition is on point, right? Like you don't have to do it for the big things. You can start with the little things. Now, my next point is that to get where you want, to actually listen to your intuition about what it wants and to start going after it, you're going to have to go outside your comfort zone. Okay. You're going to have to get uncomfortable. You're going to have to do things that feel scary. Okay. Like a lot of my clients, when they first start posting about their business, they're terrified that people are going to show up in the comments and say that they're not good enough, right? They're not qualified. They shouldn't be doing this. Who are you to do this? They're terrified that people from their past lives are going to judge them for how they're showing up and how they're being self-promotion-y, you know? Those fears can absolutely run your life if you let them. Yeah, the universe led me to a much needed recharge. Yeah, absolutely. It also led me to get over the story I made up about why we'd fallen out of touch. I made it all about me, and it wasn't all about me. It just happened. It happens to the best of us, right? And so there's healing in it also. Like I want to give a nod to that. But anyway, so you're going to have to get uncomfortable. There's no way to beat that, right? And part of getting over that fear, part of going outside your comfort zone and feeling grounded in it, is not trying to hide yourself, not trying to hide parts of who you are, parts of what you care about. If there are things that you feel really passionate about, like I'm very passionate about women's rights, right? I'm never going to hide that. Okay. If someone wants to take away women's rights, then they're probably not the right people for my audience, right? They probably won't enjoy some of the content I create, and they probably won't enjoy how I donate some of the money they pay me if they become my client, right? Now, there's this fear always that like you could get rejected for who you are. If you're fully yourself in front of people, oh my God, what if people get upset? What if people reject that? And that's absolutely a possibility. But I want you to remember this. Would you rather spend your whole life staying in a comfort zone, listening to the fear voice, and pretending to be a diluted, like beiged out version of yourself and have everyone kind of like you? Or would you rather actually do what the fuck you want to do? My Aunt Ange would hate that I'm using a swear word. She always used to correct me about, it's not professional to use swear words. I'm thinking about her a lot right now. Anyway, would you rather do what the fuck you want to do and be exactly who you are without having to pretend otherwise? Or do you want to be a beiged out version of yourself? That is ultimately your choice. You absolutely get to choose either one. I personally vote that you get to be your full self. Okay. Even if it pisses people off, even if it alienates some people, if they're just like not your people, they're not your people. And that is okay. Okay. You don't need everyone to like you. Okay. It's never going to happen anyway. There are people out there who don't like you because you look like someone who bullied them in school. Okay. You have no control over that. All right. So that voice in your head that's telling you that, like, if you like keep yourself small and you stay in your comfort zone and you don't go for what you really want, you really hide these parts of yourself that you're afraid that people are going to reject. It's lying to you, because it's saying if you do all these things, then you're going to get more people to like you. When really, like, there are always going to be people out there who don't care for you. And that's fine. That's actually great, because the more they like move away from you, like the more space you have for your ideal people to come in. And this is not just for your business. This is in your friendships. This is in your romantic relationships. This is in family systems. You get to get closer to the people who you align with. And that is what makes life richer. That is what makes life easier to not regret choices at the end. Good morning. Good morning, Andrew. So I want you to take this away this morning, that you don't know how long you have. You really don't. Your intuition knows exactly what you need to do, what you're worth, that you're enough, and that you can do absolutely anything that you set your mind to. Okay. Might take time, but it knows that's possible for you. That to get there, you're gonna have to get outside of your comfort zone. There's no way to do this and be comfortable 100% of the time. You just have to get over that. Um, and that's the best way to do it. The best way that will make everything work out so much better at the end of the day is to let yourself be 100% yourself. Okay. No matter how weird you are, no matter how, how much you think people are going to reject you for who that is. Okay. With that, I'm keeping this short today because we've had a family thing happen and I'm not in my normal energy. So thank you all for being here. I hope this was useful. I also hope this was a kick in the butt for you to go and do what you really want. Anyway, thank you for being here and thank you for your well wishes. David, Andrea, and Andrew, and the Gazelle, and Shake Ryan. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Okay. Hi, Noor. Oh, Noor, we're just wrapping up, but I will be saving this so you can see it. Anyway, I'm Katie McManus, business strategist and money mindset coach. Thank you for being with me today. I will be going live again tomorrow. I'm still on my 30-day tear, Monday through Friday, and I have a day to make up because Friday when stuff started going down, we didn't get to do this. Oh, hi, Selena. Thank you for being here. Anyway, thank you again for being here, and I will see you tomorrow. All right.